Amid the weird and wacky world of Catholic teachings, a new ripple is forming in Britain's zeitgeist. As any regular infidel viewer can tell you, the Catholic Church is well known for its fixed position on euthanasia, gay marriage, condom use, and many other important social issues. The Church also continues to feel the negative impacts related to child abuse scandals around the world as attendance declines. Now there is a new shift in the zeitgeist. Catholic bishops are now forming meetings on business ethics and inviting some of England's most high-profile corporate leaders. Recently, another organised event discussed the values of progressives after the recent credit crunch with Labour Party advisers and Catholic theologians. The core idea is a return to Catholic social teachings, or to put it in more simple terms, compassion for the poor. This idea goes back to Aristotle, but was rediscovered in the 13th century by St. Thomas Aquinas. In addition to concerns for the poor, it seeks respect for the dignity of labour with a balance of respect for property and family. A formal encyclical was issued by Pope Leo XIII in 1891, expressing it as a gift of Catholic thought to a troubled world. In modern times, just like in 1891, the ethical and philosophical treatment of free markets remains a concern. The Jewish Free School, or the JFS, of North London has removed a General Certificate of Secondary Education, or GCSE, textbook on Judaism from the curriculum due to multiple inaccuracies. The religious studies book is so full of mistakes that it prompted one angry parent to quip that the factual errors are laughably bad. One such error is a picture of a Muslim person kneeling in prayer, yet described as a Jew. Other inaccuracies include commentaries on women who wear wigs, along with other misleading and offensive material. One student remarked that it was so bad the teacher kept telling us, "Don't listen to this, ignore this and that, half of this is wrong." The Jewish Free School has issued its own set of corrections that students will refer to until an accurate edition of the textbook is published. England's Assessment and Qualifications Alliance, the AQA, is one of the country's leading regulator of public exams and issued a statement concerning the matter. The JFS brought the errors to our attention and we raised them with the publisher. The publisher is responsible for the content of the book and therefore any errors. Jonathan Miller, who is the head teacher at the Jewish Free School, added that we are pleased that they are preparing a new draft of the Judaism textbook which will deal with any inaccuracies. French President François Hollande is making good on a campaign promise he made to the French people. He is introducing a legislation that would allow for same-sex marriage to become legal in France by the middle of next year. According to recent poll data, the majority of the country's population approves the idea. But the number of people approving the new law has dipped slightly due to Catholic opposition. Church leaders are attempting to use their religious influence to persuade the French population to reject the plan. Speaking out against the proposed law at a recent bishops' conference in Lourdes, Paris Cardinal André Ventoux said he opposes same-sex marriage. In his opinion, it would profoundly affect the equilibrium of French society and harm children who grow up without a father and a mother. Using a strategy common among fundamentalists in America, the Catholic Church wants to debate the issue endlessly, which effectively delays the law's introduction. The general French population is having none of it and has emphatically expressed its opinion. But the Cardinal doesn't care. Public insults and ad hominem arguments seem to suggest some difficulty in accepting a real debate. Of course, accusing one of homophobia is the most common. Responding to his statements, Paris Senator Jean-Marie Le Guen said that he was shocked by this attitude, which I think is a kind of return to fundamentalism that I find problematic. If the new legislation passes, France would be the 12th country in the world to allow same-sex marriage. Catholic Care, an adoption agency in the United Kingdom, must no longer refuse gay couples if it wants to retain its charity status, according to a court ruling. Ending a 5-year legal struggle, the court ruled that a charity was risking the loss of suitable same-sex couples to the adoption system as a whole by subjecting them to the particularly demeaning experience of discrimination on the grounds of their sexual orientation. The decision was welcomed by the British Humanist Association. Head of Public Affairs for the group, Pavan Dhaliwal, said that this ruling sends a clear signal that religious organisations, including religious charities, providing a public service, may not simply opt themselves out of a law which prevents discrimination on grounds of sexual orientation. The Equality Act of 2007 prevented all adoption agencies from discriminating against foster parents according to their sexual orientation. Representative for Catholic Care, Monica Carse-Frisks, said that the decision was tantamount to putting the interests of the helper before those of the helpless. Eschaton 2012, CFI Ottawa, Canada Conference. The year is 2012 and once again the world is coming to an end. According to the remaining records of the Mayan long count calendar, the 13th Eschaton will count down and end on 21st of December 2012. The Mayans would have marked the end of an era with a large celebration, and true to that spirit, the Centre for Inquiry Canada, or CFI Canada, is proud to welcome the skeptic public to Eschaton 2012, celebrating reason at the end of the world from November 30th until December 2nd, 2012. This small-scale event will be held at Victoria Park Suites, 377 O'Connor Street in Ottawa. Ontario will provide unique opportunities for interactions with guest speakers who will be attending many of the social events and sessions. One of the featured speakers is Steve Tomlins, a PhD candidate in religious studies at the University of Ottawa. His current area of study deals with atheist communities in a religiously diverse Canada, and how the frameworks of multiculturalism and reasonable accommodation relate to atheism. Steve is co-organiser of the workshop Atheist Identities, Spaces and Social Contexts. This discussion group will gather international scholars from numerous disciplines to critically assess and understand atheism, as well as the growing segment of the religious nones in Western societies from a non-theological and non-polemic foundation. The link to the conference website is listed in the video description.